Hey, what's going on guys? So last Sunday I saw Avengers Infinity War and I really liked it. This has been a film that we've all been waiting for since they first teased it in the first Avengers movie, and it's finally here. Let me tell you, waking up knowing that I'd be watching Infinity War was like waking up to a Christmas morning or something. That's how excited I was. Obviously no spoilers here, but I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen it by now, but I like to keep my reviews spoiler free. As you know, the film is directed by the Russo brothers, who also did two of probably one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion, which is The Winter Soldier and The Civil War. So obviously Infinity War was in good hands. Alright, so first let's talk about the story. The story is basically, well, you guys know Thanos is like coming, and he's trying to get all the Infinity Stones to fill up his gauntlet so he will have the ability to wipe out half the universe in an attempt to restore balance. Then the Avengers, they gotta stop him from doing that. I'm just going to say right now, Thanos is the main character right here. This is basically his movie. Overall the story is pretty simple. I mean, you can tell that Kevin Feige, the main Marvel producer, wanted to keep the story quite simple. I mean, the story is nowhere near as in depth and interesting as Civil War and The Winter Soldier. But you know what, I'm going to allow it because, as you know, there are so many characters in the film that it would be pretty impossible to get every character some strong development, because you basically need to rely on the backstory from the previous films. Would you need to see every single Marvel movie though? I don't think so. Let me just run through all the Marvel movies and I'll tell you which ones that I think you should see. So in preparation for Infinity War, I recommend that you do see Iron Man, Captain America the First Avenger, The Avengers, Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther. So speaking of all these movies, let's talk about these characters. Like I said, there's a lot of characters in this film, but fam, let me tell you, the best Avengers in this film for me were Iron Man, Thor, and Doctor Strange. Even Spider-Man has some really good highlights. And the Guardians, surprisingly, were good too. Like, they weren't just slapped in to add some seasoning. It's like, nah, they actually had a lot to do in this film. We also got the Black Order in this film, who are basically like Thanos' minions, his team, who are trying to also get the Infinity Stones for Thanos. And they were okay. I mean, they did what they had to do, but there was only really one of them which I really remember, which was the shush guy from the trailer. I forgot his name, but I'll probably put a picture up somewhere. But yeah, he was not messing around. I mean, he could probably be a main villain himself if he wanted to. Alright, let's talk about the visuals real quick. The motion cap and the CGI for the most part were quite good, such as on Thanos. I mean, he's all CG and you kind of know that he's CG, but you never feel like he looked fake or anything. The CG on the Hulkbuster on the other hand was a bit iffy, and the CG on the Black Order were pretty terrible. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, the Black Order looked worse than some video game CG. But as you know, Disney has got the big cast, so for the most part the visuals were on point. I want to talk about some negatives real quick. Like I said, I liked the movie, but I didn't love it. No spoilers here, but I'm not gonna lie, the script was a little weak. This goes back to what I said about the story being a bit basic. But yeah, the script was nothing great. Now the script does have great parts, such as when it's focusing on Thanos and his character. But fam, there were some characters who would go out of character, which was a bit odd. And there were some certain characters who would make dumb decisions just because it's convenient for the script. And if you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No spoilers here, my friend. There were consistency issues with the characters in terms of power. I mean, some characters are weak at parts and then somehow just get strong just so the plot can keep going. I mean, honestly, that's very poor, and I expected a little more from the Russos, especially after their masterpieces Winter Soldier and Civil War. What the film does deliver though is the action. The film has a lot of action sequences and they're all well done. Not as well choreographed as The Winter Soldier on the other hand. I mean, the action here focuses more on spectacle rather than tight precision. Like, there were some scenes where it does try to do that, but it wasn't really much, and it's really more of a personal preference. I mean, you may like spectacle action way more, and I'm not saying the action was bad, it was far from being bad. I'm just saying it's not as good as what the Russos has done before, like in Civil War and The Winter Soldier. Let's talk about that tone real quick. The film has a mixture of serious, light-hearted and emotional moments. The serious parts did work. You do get a sense of intimidation from Thanos and the Black Order. Light-hearted moments came from the jokes in the movie. There were a few jokes. They never overstayed their welcome like in Thor Ragnarok or anything. Jokes for the most part worked. I mean, a lot of the jokes didn't work for me, and some jokes just got a chuckle, so jokes were a mixed bag. Emotional moments, I mean, yo, this is not a spoiler. You guys already know people die in this movie, and some go out quite quickly, and some are meant to be like this big moment that's meant to hit you emotionally. And again, if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, for me, I didn't really feel it that much. You know, it didn't get me to cry. I mean, films never really make me cry, to be honest, in general. The only films that managed to get a tear out of me was Logan and Coco. Finding Dory, Spirited Away and Kidulthood, almost but not quite. They were close, but besides that, no other film got me to feel a great sense of emotion to the point of like tears or watery eyes or anything. And as you know from the title, I did see this in IMAX 3D, so do I recommend seeing it in that format? Well, I actually do recommend seeing it in IMAX if you can. If you didn't know already, the film is shot entirely in IMAX cameras, so you don't have to worry about aspect ratio changing, you know, which drives me nuts, like especially in that recent Transformers movie. But yeah, you can see that characters have a lot more space and it's not so squashed, so trust me, seeing this on the big screen will be worth the extra pounds, dollars, euros, rupees, money, whatever money you use. The 3D on the other hand was really not that necessary. I mean, it was fine I guess, but you know, it wasn't really needed. There was nothing amazing or anything. The best way to watch this movie is in 2D IMAX. Don't worry about 3D, because I only saw it in 3D because the nearest IMAX cinema was in IMAX with the 3D, so you know how it is. But yeah, that's basically it. Overall, it was a great film, but not perfect. I was satisfied with the outcome, and I cannot wait for Avengers 4. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Hit the bell. Have a good day and peace.